Mr. Mike Rayburn.
Awesome. Thank you. I did that because I can. My people. No. Thank you. No. I did that because the guitar is the best way that I have to illustrate something that I am passionate about. And that is, I believe that we are each capable of far more than we ever knew was possible. I believe that we are each a gold mine of unrealized potential. And I think that we are surrounded every moment of the day by opportunities to access that potential. Opportunities that we miss. Opportunities to step beyond what's been done before, to challenge the status quo, to look at old things in a new way. For me to try to play the guitar a little differently than has been played for the last 500 years. Okay, so, would you agree with that? Of course you would. My people. So the question becomes, how do we access that potential? And let's take a moment right now and acknowledge the very obvious elephant in the room. You've got to be wondering, okay, what in the world am I going to learn about Juice Plus from Kumbaya Boy? And it's a fair question, all right? And specifically, if you're looking for the specifics, you're probably not going to learn that much from me. But the fact is, it's not about the specifics. The principles behind what it takes for us to realize our unrealized potential, to do more than we ever thought was possible. The principles are the exact same, no matter what the career, no matter what the endeavor, no matter what the industry. So what I want to do with you today, in the short time that we have, is I want to share with you 3 simple tools that you can use immediately and forever to be able to access that potential, okay? I'm going to go through them one at a time. I'm going to illustrate them, which is the fun part of this whole program. And then at the end, I'm going to attempt to prove that they work by doing something I thought was completely impossible to do with one acoustic guitar on stage. Is that cool? We good? Good. So let's jump into this. The first tool. To change anything, the first thing that has to change is our brains, our thinking. The thinking that got you where you're sitting right now will not get you any further. The most basic human brain function, cognitive function, is to ask questions. I don't know if you realize that. Thinking is questioning. At the foundation of our thinking is questions. You're driving, is the light turning red or green? Should I turn left or right? What did she say? What did she mean by what she said? That's a guy question. So right away, what I'm hoping you'll do with that information is start to pay attention to the questions that your brain is asking on a regular daily basis as you go through your day, because this is the self-talk that's going on inside of us all the time. And if we're asking empowering questions, we're getting great answers. And if we're not, we're not. But specifically what I'm going to do is I want to give you 2 questions. They are absolutely simple. I'm focusing on one more than the other, and I'll tell you why in a second. You've heard them before, but just for the next few minutes, I'm going to invite you to revisit them with me. And they are, what if and why not? What if? When you ask the question, well, what if? What if I could? What would that look like? I know I can't, but what if I could? What would that look like? It opens up the possibilities, right? What if? Why not gets at the obstacle. What's holding us back? Okay? And while we have many limitations, let me take a moment right now and list all of our major limitations in life. Okay, I'm done. We have one, and what is it? Ourselves. It drives me nuts. This is why I do this program. I see it all the time. We as human beings negotiate away half of our opportunities, half of our potential in life at the front end of most endeavors because we tend to aim at the middle. We aim at mediocrity, and we hit it. And I don't want us to do that. So, we've said it's ourselves, but let's get more specific. It's our fears. Okay? And while we have many fears as human beings, there are 3 that hold us back, statistically, hold us back most often. They are the fear of failure, the fear of success, and the fear of rejection. You know, fear of failure. Oh no, what if we don't make our quota? Fear of success. What if we make our quota and they want us to do it again? Or fear of rejection. Oh no, what if we make our quota and now our friends all hate us? Okay. Okay, so why not gets at that obstacle? And you know what? I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the why not because I prefer to focus on solutions than problems. Is that an agreement? Are we on the same page with that? So let me give you a general way to apply this. What if? A general way to apply this, then we're going to go through some specifics. I'm hoping and I'm assuming from this conference you're going to have some kind of a wonderful opportunity that's going to present itself to you. Something where you're thinking, wow, if I could just do this, if I could just implement this, if I could just make this one thing happen, it would change everything for the better. But it seems this shy of impossible. Here's what I want you to do with that. Just for me, try this. When you're looking at a thing that seems almost impossible, just say, well, what if I could? What if I could do that? I know I can't, but what if I could? What would that look like? Here's the interesting point. It doesn't mean you're going to do it. Okay? Counterintuitively, this is the power behind the question. There's absolutely nothing on the line. 0 commitment. What does that mean? It means that absolutely anything is possible. You've completely stepped over the why not. There's nothing in the way. What if I did that? What would it look like? But more importantly, the minute you ask that question, your brain changes. There's a fundamental foundational change. You are now no longer looking for reasons you can't. You're looking for reasons you can. This is an extremely important point. It's a powerful point. Now, I share this. I practice this in my daily life, business, creativity, whichever. I learned this by playing for drunk people. Now, we've all got a challenge. I would not be authentic if I was not speaking from something that actually happened to me. But you'll use this as a direct metaphor for whatever challenge you deal with. I had this dream of playing guitar. Okay? Whatever your dream is, plug it in there. But I had this dream of playing guitar for people. And I started like a lot of people do in clubs and bars. And you know how you get ready and prepared and memorized and you're enthusiastic and you go in bright-eyed and right away I got people yelling out stupid requests under the alkafluence of alcohol. Which is a really old joke, but thank you. And I didn't know what to do with that. Am I supposed to know the song? I don't even like the song. What am I going to do? And I started to look bad on stage. I was shying from the challenge, okay? And then I don't know what it was. At some point, I got tired of looking bad. So I thought to myself, and I don't know why, I just did. I thought, well, what if I could? Somebody yelled something out. I thought, what if I could? And it didn't mean I went and learned the song. What it meant was I came up with a creative way to deal with the challenge in the moment, which we all have to do, don't we? A creative way to deal with the challenge in the moment. The interesting point was those challenges ended up being what I do now. And so I'd like to try some of these for you. These are songs you've heard before, but not the way I'm going to do them. And I listen to everything, so we're going all over the spectrum musically. I actually got requests for what they call the boy bands. You remember this? I want to stand with you on a mountain. I want to bathe with you in the sea. I want to lay like this forever until the sky falls down on me. Yeah, yeah. Here's how I heard it. What if? And the interesting thing here is when you ask and answer the question, you come up with a solution that is uniquely yours. It is uniquely a product of your abilities and experiences. No one else would have come up with it. We're going to talk about that in a second. Here's how I heard it. Oh, boy bands, you have to have choreography. I was your dream, I was your wish, I was your fantasy. I was your life, I was everything you want me to be. But you were mean and you were bad and then you lied to me. You were the worst, you did it all, you even cheated on me. I wanna throw you off of a mountain. I wanna hold you under the sea. I wanna lay you to rest forever till the police come looking for me. Yeah, yeah. Got it. Go. My people. If you enjoyed that, we're gonna have a blast today. This is great. In fact, I use this question for anything. I've got a friend back home named Philippe who just went through this whole paternity suit thing. It's okay, DNA cleared him. So I thought, what if he had a song? Philippe's not a dad. Philippe's not a dad. It's just a joke, this is a joke. But you'll be singing that for like 2 weeks. I'm sorry. Now, I am blessed with the opportunity to tour all over this country, out of the country sometimes, and let me explain this. We're talking about trying to uncover the opportunities that surround us, opportunities inside ourselves, the unrealized potentials, opportunities out there. In touring all over the country, I've learned something right now. I don't care where you go. For some reason, right now, classic rock is big. Have you noticed this? Okay, classic, yes. Which is great. They're playing songs in the 60s, 70s, and 80s as often as they're hits today, which is great. My challenge with that, all of us, you know, rebels who bought those records, we're just old. So we've gone from acid rock to acid reflux. So I'm looking for the angle. Where's the opportunity in that? What if we just take some of those great songs and rewrite them to reflect the age change? A whiter shade of hair. You make me feel like napping. Papa had a kidney stone. Mrs. Brown, you've got a lovely walker. There must be 50 ways to lose your liver. You can't always be where you are. Bald thing. You need some Rogaine. Or my favorite. How would I look with a stain on my pants? Would my friends all look down upon me? How do I feel at the end of the dance, not knowing if I've had to pee? Oh, I get by with a little help from Depends. Oh, I get by with a little help from Depends. Oh, I stay dry with a little help from Depends. Thank you. My people. Cool. We need more foot in the house, I think. I'm kind of not hearing it very there. Thank you. Now, if I had to say that there's a common denominator with every organization I get the opportunity to present for, it is this. We're trying to manage change, right? Trying to manage change. There's change going on, changing the economy, changing technology, right? Peter Drucker said it better than I ever could. Managing change is not only stupid, it's dangerous. The only way to manage change is to create change, to define the curve rather than follow it. And I would offer you this. When you ask the question, what if? What if we could do that? What would it look like? Again, you're coming up with a solution that is uniquely a product of your abilities and experiences, or the abilities and experiences of your team. No one else would have come up with it. Okay? So when we have the courage to follow that, you're now doing something no one else would have done, or no one else would have done in the same way. This is an extremely powerful point, because that's when you start to step out and define the curve, where you're no longer following in the wake of the wave, okay? Now, I dealt with a huge change. I grew up in Virginia, outside of D.C., and I grew up playing blues and rock more than anything. I then, after college, moved to Nashville, Tennessee, and the request changed, okay? And it's, when people request country, it's not, could you play some country? It's, country, come on, okay? And you got to do it because they're packing, you know, and I didn't know what to do with that. And I was, again, it was scary on stage, and sometimes I don't trust the question, and it still works. I thought, okay, what if I could? And it hit me for the rest of that night. Just to get through the night, and I've been doing it ever since then, I just took the songs I do know and played them country. The first one that came out is a guy named Tom Petty. She's a good girl, loves her mama, loves Jesus, and America too. She's a good girl, she's crazy about Elvis, loves horses, and her boyfriend too. Now I'm free, free falling. Yes, I'm free, free falling. Yes, I'm free. It works, man. Oh. And here's the great thing. Once you make this a habit, you can't go back. I do this with any song at all. You can make it country, and I'll prove it. Who let the dogs out? Who? Who let the dogs out? Who? It's a country song, man. Who knew? Any type of music, you. They keep trying to catch me riding dirty. Trying to catch me riding dirty. Okay, my 7 hip-hop fans. More recognizable hip-hop. It's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes. It's getting hot. Anyone over 30, that was Nelly. Oh, current songs. Lady Gaga. Country singer. Let's have some fun, this beat is sick. I want to take a ride on your disco stick. Don't think too much, just bust that kick. I want to take a ride on your disco stick. It works, man. And the logical conclusion to this would be Johnny and Justin. Johnny Cash sings Justin Timberlake. I'm bringing sexy back. Them other boys just don't know how to act. I think it's special what's behind your back. So turn around and I'll pick up the slack. Take it to the bridge. What? Thank you. Thank you. Now, the common denominator with organizations is change, right? And we're not going to manage change. We're going to create change. The common denominator I find with individuals is this. We have a time poverty. If you've not figured this out already, I heard it in some of the presentations coming into this. If you've not figured this out already, just let me let you in on this. From this day forward, you're going to have more to do every day than is humanly possible. Okay? That's the way it is. I mean, it's not wrong. We've chosen to be that way as a society. We work hard, we play hard, there's a lot on our agendas. The challenge, if we can't do it all, is how to choose what to do and what not to do. So we don't major in minor things, as it were. Because the fact is, there's not enough time to do it all. There is enough time to do the most important things. And that's what we each have to decide for ourselves. And I have found that the question, what if, helps me this in a big way. Playing in clubs, people would drink too much, and it is a profound truth that alcohol and the English language do not get along, okay? I mean, bad enough to have somebody sober yelling, dude, play Metallica. But when the request would come out like, hey, play a song, the guy that 5 years ago raised it, talking about it, I'm saying. What was that, Dave Matthews? What did you say? So I would translate from drunkenese to English and play the song. Later in the evening, when everyone had become what I call liquid bilingual, I couldn't figure out what to do. These requests all yelled at the same time. And you get that, don't you? People yelling requests at you, things that you got to do, things that they demand your time right now. And I had a cutoff time. I had to fit them all in, and I couldn't do it. It was impossible. But here's what I think about the impossible. I think, I know it's impossible. What if it wasn't? What if I could? And I got this wild idea. I did what I did in this last piece. I would put them together. I would choose two of the artists they were yelling for, do an imitation, one of them singing the other one's hit songs, knock off 2 songs, 1 shot. Really, we're, Britney Spears doing Leonard Skinner, which we are not doing. I'm wearing too much clothing. But we used to have the same hair. It's an obscure joke, thank you. So let's try this. So this is Bob Marley, the king of reggae. Right. Yeah, sings Garth Brooks. If you like either one of them, you're going to hate this. I got good friends in low places where whiskey drowns and beer chases my blues away. We jump on. You got the idea? Cool. We'll do these all day. This is the first one I ever did. The first time I applied this question to this challenge, and you got to think back for this guy. He's a mellow 70s folk artist. His name is Dan Fogelberg. All right, we're old. Yeah. For those of you who don't know him, acoustic love songs. He did like, longer than there have been fishes in the ocean, higher than any bird ever flew. This is Dan Fogelberg, sings AC/DC. She was a fast machine, she kept her motor clean. She was the best darn woman that I ever seen. She had the sightless eyes, telling me no lies, and knocking me out with those American thighs, taking more than her share, had me fighting for air. She told me to come, and I was already there, 'cause the walls were shaking, the earth was quaking, my mind was aching. We weren't faking, woman, you shook me all night long. You shook me all night long. Yeah, my people. Thank you. As a comedian, I used to think that I'm the only one who gets hecklers. But you get hecklers, don't you? People yelling at you, people challenge you with things, and they're not necessarily with your best interest at heart, right? I invite you to pay attention to the hecklers in your life. Not always, but quite often, there is a gift for you in what they're saying. Sometimes you have to look pretty hard, but there's a gift. And I found the question, what if, helps with that. I said, well, what if there was something for me in this? What if there was something good about this? What would it be? I know there's not, but what if there was? I did that last bit in a gig, and I had a heckler that night, and he challenged me to reverse them. To do AC/DC sings a heavy metal, hard rock, with this acoustic guitar, version of that longer than there been fishes in the ocean, higher than any bird ever flew. Well, what if? And it works. And quite often what we build up to be the challenge isn't what it is. It's something different. I thought the challenge would be the music. I got the music. The challenge is to do AC/DC right. You need that, life sucks look. And I don't really have it because I don't believe that, but we're going to try.
There been fishes in the ocean, higher than any bird ever flew. Longer than there been stars up in the heaven. I'm in love with you. I pray fire in the winter, and your sun showers in the spring, and we'll fly through the falls and summers. We love on our wings.
My people. I forgot to shave. Oh, you remember this song? Great acres is a place to be. Y'all know this is. Farm living is a life. Oh, my good. I just wonder. No, what if? Let's have some fun with this. TV land. I was watching the Super Bowl a year ago, not this past, but a year ago. Bruce Springsteen did the halftime show. This is Bruce Springsteen sings Green Acres. I got a lot of free time. Like you didn't know that at this point. Oh, Springsteen, I forgot. Place to be, fun living is a life for me. Let's spread enough as far as I can. Hanging in the other side. New York is I'd rather stay up. Getting so allergic, smelling hay. Oh, gonna love you, but give me pork about you. My people, yes. I would not keep teaching this if it didn't keep working. I get emails from attendees who talk about how they've applied this. Well, what if I could do that? And some of them just overcoming a certain challenge, a simple challenge. Some of them big, heavy emotional issues, all kinds of different things. It's about becoming possibility thinkers, opening our minds to the possibilities. And I keep thinking I'm done with this, and it keeps working, so I keep doing it. In fact, I got to try this. I wanted to get beyond music. I love children's books, kids' books, especially the ones that rhyme, because I get that. So I would like to do for you, in a keynote presentation with 4,000 people, I would like to do for you my recitation of Dr. Seuss. Is that cool? Good. As performed by Led Zeppelin.
Do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam. I am. I would not, could not in a box. I would not, could not with a fox. Green eggs and ham. Green eggs and ham. Green eggs, Sam. I am.
Yeah. Cool. This is good. Okay, we're having fun with these requests, but I kid you not, when I got them, they were not funny. They scared me to death, honestly. And what we're doing, with each of the tools that I'm going to teach you, there are 3 subpoints, subcategories. What we're doing today, simply by asking the question, what if? Okay? Number 1, we're taking a huge problem and we're poking fun at it. How often do we have the courage to do that? We don't do that with problems. You know what we do with problems? We deify them, and it drives me nuts. We put them on a pedestal and we worship them. Oh, the problem, there's a problem. Look at the problem. My God, there's a problem. There's a memo about the problem, and a meeting about the problem, and a meeting about the memo about the problem, okay? And I'm not saying to diminish the importance of the problem. What I'm trying to say is if you can make fun of something, you can't make fun of something without standing outside of it. And when you stand outside of it, you come up with a better solution because you have a better perspective. It's a better solution every time, okay? I guarantee you. Just by asking, what if? Number 2, that's number 1. Number 2, we're taking a huge problem and we're not looking at it as a problem. We're finding it as an opportunity. And you hear that all the time, okay? You hear that all the time, you know, in motivational speeches. Problem equals opportunity, let's go, right? You see it on little magnets on the refrigerator. There's no such thing as a problem without a gift for you in its solving. What's this beautiful? Okay. And it's true, but let's get real about that. How does that happen? How does problem become opportunity? It's you and it's me. When we're willing to step beyond what's been done before and we say, hey, I know I can't, but what if I could? What would that look like? How could we do that? And finally, we're opening up our creativity. I find that not enough people, especially in sales, not enough people are willing to embrace and use their creativity. Okay, and I don't like that. I can still get people say, you know, I heard what you said, but I'm not creative. It's okay, I'm not worried about it, I'm just not creative. And politically incorrect to say this, but most of them work with numbers. I'm just saying, just saying. Every one of us is creative. We are all creative. We're just creative in different ways. That's the beauty of the whole thing. And if you think you're in that category, I challenge you. Try that. Think about a problem or challenge, opportunity, and think, well, what if I could do that? And say, well, how would that happen? Well, let's see. How about this? And you write it down. The minute you wrote that down, you just became creative. Welcome to the club. I want to do one more illustration of this because this silly little question opened an entire area of comedy that I don't know anyone's doing right now. I wondered, what if it was possible to make someone laugh without saying a word? Could the notes themselves be funny? And while I have a number of examples of this, I've got time for one of them. I had a request to play dueling banjos. I said, but then I thought about it. Again, what if, right? If you listen to the piece Dueling Banjos, it's not 2 banjos, it's a guitar and a banjo. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to play both the parts. I'm going to do the guitar player like the same guitar player from the mountains of Georgia. But what if the banjo player is from Baghdad? Middle Eastern bluegrass or blue sand with American bluegrass together. You know, it's like chicken fried baba ganoush. Let's see if it's possible. It goes like this. My people, you guys are great. Thank you. Cool. I'm honored. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's great. Okay, so we're asking what if? What if we did that? What would it look like? What if I could do that? The second tool. Write music that you can't play. Write music that you can't play. Or, let's take it out of musical terms. Set goals that don't exist. And let me set that up for you. Let me sort of illustrate that for you. A goal that exists. If you, let's make it nice and generic, sell 100 widgets in a year, and next year you set a goal to sell 110 widgets, 10% increase in your sales, okay? That's a good goal, but to me it exists. Because even if you're not capable of doing that right now, you can probably see how to get there. You can see how to get to what that next step, even if we're not there yet, we can see how to get there. And most of our goals are like this. They're the next step. We can see how to get to a 5 or 10% increase in most things. And if you don't know, I can tell you, you could work harder, you could work longer, you could hire help, you could be more productive. There's ways to get there. And that's cool. Most of our goals are that way. That's fine. But I'm about trying to get beyond what's been done before to affect exponential change. So here's what I'd like you to do. Whatever time frame you set goals, I want you to set one goal where when you come up with the goal, don't start with what's possible. Start with what's cool. What's right? What's the dream case scenario? People always say, well, in a perfect world I would. Yes, in a perfect world you would what? And why is that not the goal? Oh, because it's impossible. And we kill the perfect world scenario, the greatest goal that we could have. We kill it before it has a chance to leave our mouths. It drives me nuts. I see it all the time, okay? So here's what you do. You come up with this goal, and you'll know it's the kind of goal I'm talking about. Here's the test. It takes courage to think it, okay? So here's what you do. 3 things, again, 3 subpoints. Number 1, you got to write it down. You can't just think about it, because if you just think about it and then you let yourself off the hook, right? You don't do it, you'll let yourself off the hook. You go, well, I wasn't really going to do it. I was just thinking about it, okay? That's number 1. You write it down, first manifestation. Number 2, you got to commit to it personally. I have no idea how, but this is going to happen. And number 3, you got to take some kind of action on it within 24 hours of writing it down. Here's what will happen. If you will do this, here's what will happen. The universe will come to your aid. I don't know how this works, and I don't care. It just does. I don't know how electricity works, but I still flip the switch. Same thing. The universe seems to like goals like this. So here's what you do. You come up with this goal, you write it down, you commit to it, you take some action on it, and a few days later, a week later, whatever, you meet somebody And they start talking about this. And wow, I didn't know, but it may not have been the angle that you thought, but it's a way to get to the next step. Or you spin the dial on the television, you come across a documentary, and you wouldn't have thought that it actually applies to your goal, but it's there. Some kind of, these ideas, these coincidences, they start coming to you, okay? I don't think they're coincidences. I think that they're there for a reason, okay? The universe seems to like goals like this. Now, I call it write music you can't play because that's how I stumbled onto it. I studied classical guitar for most of my 9 years of undergraduate work. Associate's degree. I'm the only student in history with tenure. And I would get these grandiose ideas. I'd hear a 60-piece orchestra, and I'm like, I'm going to do it on a guitar. Or I'd hear a piano player and doing two different parts at the same time. The guitar's not like that. What you're fretting is what you're strumming. So I'm going to do it on a guitar. And I'd start writing and composing, and I'd be so proud of these pieces that I'd written because they were different, right? I'd take them to my guitar player friends because they could get it, and I'd be like, dude, check this out. And they'd be like, dude, can you play that? And I'd be like, no. Because I couldn't. And I had no way of seeing it in this context, but I had set a goal, an impossible, crazy goal. I had written it down. It was in music, not English, but that's still written. Lord knows I was committed to it. I kept trying, working on things. I'd take some action. And here's an example of what would. I went to a music store one time, and I saw a guy trying out a guitar. And he was an average player, but he was doing a technique I'd never seen. And I thought, whoa, check that out. I just studied. I just watched what he was doing. Like a minute or two, he thought I was weird. And I went home, and I picked up the guitar, and I learned the technique. And then I pulled out this piece, and that's it. And suddenly I'm able to play this piece I thought was impossible. Metaphorically, it'll happen the exact same way for you, okay? So what I'd like to do for you right now is play for you two pieces that were composed that way. One that I arranged and composed, and the other one that is an adaptation of a piece. And they're both on, I've released two instrumental CDs, one of them called Romantical, and which is you're by the fireplace with a glass of wine kind of album. And the other one is a little more experimental. The first piece is an adapted orchestral piece called Pachelbel's Canon, Canon in D. You've heard this, if you've been to a wedding in the last 30 years, you've heard this piece, okay? And this is my own theme and variations. I kind of go into my own thing with this piece. I'm going to go from that to a piece that I wrote and arranged called Quicksilver, which is my attempt to do two different parts at the same time, and I'll talk about it in a second. This will be the brief cultural portion of our program. Thank you so much for attending. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Whew. Thank you. Oh, shucks. Thank you. Thank you. Now, for the next piece, I'm going to use this style of playing that I used in the beginning, where you just touch the string with one finger. Now, a lot of people think that there's a tape loop, or there's effects on it, or it's a special guitar. This is a regular acoustic guitar. You just touch the string with one finger, which frees your hands up to do a number of parts at the same time. Or to do fast scales. The piece is called Quicksilver. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Guitar Hero? I know the program has gone a little bit long. Things were got backed up early on. I'm almost done. Are we cool with that? We got a little bit of time to finish here? Just got the third tool to share with you and two more bits to illustrate it. The fact is, from this conference, you're going to get some huge opportunities, and you're going to act on them. And you've seen up here from the Elton Awards and from the people who have given their testimonies that it's going to work. Okay? Here's what we do, though, as human beings. Even when something works, and you've done the work, and you've done all the preparation, and you've acted, and it's now starting to be successful, don't limit the success that you could have. We, as human beings, tend to get scared of that. Even though it's good, it's new, and there's a fear that comes with that. And I just caution you to be aware of that. I'm not saying there's such a thing as healthy caution. What I'm saying is don't limit that success. Ride that wave. I offer you the counterexample of where I nearly screwed this up. As was mentioned in the introduction, I've been honored with the opportunity to perform at Carnegie Hall. And Carnegie Hall, I thought you had to study Bach for 40 years. Who knew you could get there by playing Black Betty for drunk people? But you can. And bam-lam. And 4 of us got that joke, but thank you. So this last time, I got to record a Live at Carnegie Hall CD. And in the CD, it's being the guitar and comedy, the entertainment elements of the show. So it's a lot of fun. But once the contracts were signed, everything was set. I started looking at the set list. And I went through, okay, it's all live at Carnegie Hall CD. Let me look at the, well, I shouldn't do that one. Oh, and I probably shouldn't do that one. And Carnegie Hall with that one, I don't know. I started doing exactly what I teach not to do. And I wouldn't have told you at the time, but it was fear. I was scared of how they would come across that they shouldn't be on the record. I don't know why. But about a day before, either the day of the show or the day before the show, I caught myself. I went, hold it. This is crazy. Just do your show. Just do what you do. So I did. 3 of the 4 songs that I was going to cut became the most requested songs I have on XM and Sirius Comedy, okay? I was going to cut them. Don't do that. Please don't do that. And just for fun, real quickly, I'm going to play you one of them. It's short and to the point. It's just a simple little ditty, not exactly Carnegie Hall material, but for any of you who are parents or who've had parents, she called on her new cell phone from somewhere at the mall. I could hear her girlfriends laughing at her side. She said that she was next in line there at the tattoo stall. She just called to ask if I would mind. And I said, Mama, you're too old for a tattoo. And while you're under my roof, you'll do what I say to do. So come home from the mall, 'cause I don't care if all your buddies from the senior center want one too. Mama, you're too old for a tattoo. You want to show you're still vivacious here in your later life. But Mom, I just don't think a thong's the thing. Get that picture out of your head right now. You were 7 times a mother and 40 years a wife. You look creepy in a belly button ring. Mama, you're too old for a tattoo. While you're under my roof, you'll do what I say to do. I mean, you're almost 73. You should be watching Jeopardy and not hitting on that kid of 62. Mama, you're too old for a tattoo. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we're asking, what if? What if we did that? What would it look like? What if I could? Write music that you can't play, setting goals that don't exist. Richard Bach once wrote, here's a test to see if your purpose in life is over. If you're alive, it isn't. Okay? That means there's most definitely a profound and divine and wonderful reason that we're all here, that we're all literally in these seats with whatever's going on in our lives. And we can talk about motivation. People say he does this motivational thing. I don't call it that, but let's talk about it. How do we motivate ourselves? How do we motivate the people around us? Almost always reward and punishment. Reward and punishment. Reward, you get more money. Punishment, you get fired, right? And this is affected to a large degree. I'm not going to put it down. But let's just keep a perspective on this. This is the exact same way we train mice. How's that make you feel? What sets us apart as human beings is our ability to respond to the most powerful motivational force on this planet. And it is not power, sex, money, or fame. It's a sense of purpose. Why we do what we do means everything to us as human beings. The meaning behind it, the reason that we attach to it. So right away, you want to get more out of yourselves, more out of the people around you, more out of your lives, more out of your careers. Remember why you do what you do. And I can say this because I've been on Juice Plus for 5 years. It works. You're doing something great, okay? You're helping people's lives. You're changing. It's responding to a very fundamental need, but you don't even have to look there for your purpose. You have a purpose in a relationship. You have a purpose as a parent. You have a purpose in your community. As a citizen of this country, you have a purpose in your place of worship. So, if there's purpose and there's reason in the way that we spend our time, just right now, to yourself, think about how you spend most of your time and answer this question to yourself. Are you driving with the brakes on? Because most of us are. I'm guilty of it. Where we're like, yeah, kinda. I'm gonna do it, maybe tomorrow, okay? And the push-pull moves us sideways, and it drives me nuts. I see it all the time. So the third tool is the way to take the brakes off, and it is simply this. Become a virtuoso. Become a virtuoso, or, take it out of musical terms, resolve to be the best. In the late 90s, I used to play colleges. Over 16 years, I played 1,800 college shows all around the country, okay? This was my career. And just in that niche market, not anywhere else, but just there, I was pretty much at the top of it. I was doing as well as anyone I knew and having a great career. And I had this mentor who saw through it, and he said, that's awesome. Have you resolved to be the best? And I said, I think I told you. Things are going pretty well here. He said, no, I didn't ask you that. He said, I asked you personally, have you resolved to be the best? And the answer knocked me over. The answer was no, I had not. Because we've all been guilty of this. Because it's working, we start coasting, right? Where good becomes the enemy of great, as they say. So he said, here's what I want you to do. He said, I want you to take out a sheet of paper and write this question at the top of it. Last question I'll give you today. What would it take for me to become the best? It's a simple question. What would it take for me to become the best? And then fill in the blank. What would it take for me to become the best guitarist and presenter, comedian? What would it take for me to become the best parent? So he said, and then answer the question. I said, oh, dude, you're so right. I am so going to do this, you know. And he said, yeah, right now. So, okay, I started right. And I'll give you an example. At that point, I've been playing guitar for 20-some years. First thing I wrote on the list was take lessons. Who knew? I mean, I'm self-taught, except for classical in college, I'm self-taught. And I did. I started on this program of study. In fact, I spent a week in Spain last year studying with Robert Fripp from the band King Crimson. And if 3 of you know who that is, I'll be happy. But he's one of the greatest guitarists in the world. And I started on this program of doing the things I'd written down. If you will do this exercise, I will guarantee you, again, 3 things. Number 1, it won't take more than 10 minutes. Do it today. It won't take more than 10 minutes. That's because number 2, you already know the answers. We know what we need to do, we just don't do it. And number 3, it'll change your life. Not because you're going to be working 24 hours a day. That's not success. That's not the best to me. It's simply saying, you know what? My time is worth it. If it's worth my doing, it's worth my doing right. I've got a friend named Toby who has engineered every project I've ever been recorded or done in my life. He's been an engineer on it because he's brilliant. I will tell you the truth. Toby's goal, as he told me, his goal in life is to do as little as possible. His goal in life is to do as little as possible. But he took it seriously. And he realized the way to do the least possible is to be the best there is and get done and have the free time. Strange approach to life, but it works for him. He is the best. I've worked with him. He's worked with Ringo Starr. I mean, he's worked with the best. This guy's amazing, okay? And then he takes time off. So I want you to ask, what if? What if we did that? What would it look like? What if I could do that? I want you to write music that you can't play, to set goals that don't exist. And more than anything, I want every one of us to become a virtuoso, to resolve to be the best, because there's a purpose in it. This is not just a hobby. This is something where you're changing people's lives. You're causing health to happen. That's a beautiful thing. Take that with you. I'm going to finish up. I told you I was going to try to prove this. This is a piece. I was looking for a piece that was unequivocal, something no one had done on an acoustic guitar, no one had done without a band, and I couldn't find one. And then an audience member did. This lady requested that I play The Devil Went Down to Georgia, the Charlie Daniels song. Story of a fiddle battle. I said, no. No. I said, lady, fiddle, guitar. She was unimpressed. So I went for it. Who knew both the people that night enjoyed it? And it was such a seminal moment in my life, I remember their names to this day. Mom and Dad. Yeah. So this is a guitar version of The Devil Went Down to Georgia. Since it's the last thing I'm going to do, just one quick housekeeping point. And this is actually an opportunity. My favorite thing is doing this program. My second favorite thing is getting a chance to meet you. If you have any questions for me, any comments, anything that you want to talk about with things that I've shared with you, the stuff I've played, I will be out in the lobby afterwards for as long as you're there, and I will be tomorrow morning from 7 to 9 in the exhibit hall, okay? So I don't know where they've set that up yet. So please come by, say hi, talk with me or whatever. Also, and I want to explain this is a cool opportunity. I've never done this way before, but one of the biggest questions I get is about CDs and DVDs and the things that I've recorded, some of the things I've talked about. I have a package that I developed just for NSA. It's called NSA 40 in Phoenix deal. And it's... People ask about the DVD. I've got a DVD that has this message on it, this keynote, as well as my all entertainment program, 2 shows on it. This package contains the Live at Carnegie Hall CD. It contains both of the instrumental CDs that I played pieces from earlier. It has my book. I co-authored a book called Humorous, America's Funniest Humorists on the Power of Laughter, how laughter affects, different humorists and I each wrote a chapter on how laughter affects some part of life. Laughter in sales, laughter in marriage, laughter in work, okay? And mine has a message in it that's really important for people in sales and people who are just trying to get the most out of the time that we do have. It also has, I believe in mantras, little phrases that guide me through. What if is a mantra? What if I could do that? One of my favorite mantras as pertains to creativity, as pertains to sales, as pertains to the way I go about my presentation is this. Give them what they want, but never what they expect. Give them what they want, but never what they expect. So I came up with this weird-looking poster that has that on it as a little reminder, okay? I've got that in there. And I've also put in there, I've never done this before, ever, I wrote the notes to this program. If you want to remember the message, not only is it on the keynote, but it's on some notes that are right there for you guys. And normally, I think if you added them all up, they're like $120 or whatever. It's like less than half that out there. So if you're interested in that, it's there. If not, just come by and say hi. I've also got an email list you can sign up on to find out when I'm playing where. Last but not least, I did not know what to expect. I've done the Elton Awards, which were absolutely fantastic. And they said, you know what? We're thinking about having you do a keynote. I said, please, I would love to do that. You guys have been awesome. Thank you so much for making me feel so welcome. It goes like this. Soul to steal. He was in a bind because he's way behind. He's willing to make a deal. When he came across this young man's son on a fiddle and playing it hot, and the devil jumped up on a hickory stump and said, boy, let me tell you what. I guess you didn't know it, but I'm a fiddle player too. And if you'd care to take a dare, I'll make a bet with you. Now you play pretty good fiddle, boy, but give the devil his due. I bet a fiddle of gold against your soul because I think I'm better than you. The boy said, my name's Johnny, and it might be a sin, but I'll take your bet you're gonna regret 'cause I'm the best it's ever been. Johnny, you rosin up your bow and play your fiddle hard, because the hell's broke loose in Georgia and the devil deals the cards. If you win, you get this shiny fiddle made of gold. If you lose, the devil gets your soul. Opened up his case and he said, I'll start the show, and fire flew from his fingertips as he rosined up his bow. He pulled the bow across the strings and it made an evil hiss. Band's demons joined in and it sounded something like this. When the devil finished, Johnny said, you're pretty good, old son, but sit down in that chair right there and let me show you how it's done. Fire in the mountain, run, boys, run. Bells in the house of the rise of the sun. Cleaning the bread pan, picking out dough. Crazy all by no child, no. It's a beautiful song. And then the voice comes in.
Every time that I look in it, hey, do it now. Play that funky music, white boy.
Yeehaw. Well, the devil bowed his head because he knew that he'd been beat. He laid that golden fiddle on the ground at Johnny's feet. Johnny said, "Del, just come on back if you ever want to try again. I done told you once, you son of a gun, I'm the best it's ever been." And he played Fire in the Mountain, Run, Boys, Run. Del's in the house of the rising sun. In the bread pan, picking out dough. Granny, she'd all about no child, no. Thank you. My people, man, you guys are great. Cheers Plus, thank you, man. I'll be out in the lobby and tomorrow morning. Thank you, guys.